Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So earlier today on my Instagram and Twitter, go follow it at MBOnHockey at Mike Bartner, I decided to drop a Google form, basically a prediction poll for the rest of the season, asking you guys to give me your thoughts on this NHL season and what we think is going to happen. So now we're going to react to it. We got almost 800 responses in total, which is crazy. When I used to do these like 2 years ago, I'd be lucky to get like 80. So you guys are just so goated. The follower NHL prediction poll post deadline. So here are the questions. We're going to go through the results shortly after. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Pretty straightforward. Really lead in with the biggest question first. Who will be the runner-up? Then we got who's going to be the final wild card teams in both conferences. I think we can agree 7 out of the 8 are kind of locked up at this point. Who should win the Hart? Norris, Vezina, Calder, Selke, Jack Adams, Jim Gregory. Most improved, because I think that this should truly be an award in the NHL. I think it's ridiculous that it's not. We got some U26 skaters. Have you vote on that, as well as who is the most washed up player, someone in their 30s that has just completely fallen off. What's the best UFA signing? What's the worst UFA signing? Which coach deserves to be fired and which general manager deserves to be fired? Then who's your least favorite and your favorite player in the NHL? So yeah, we have a shit ton of, we're not going response by response. Google Forms does a good thing where you can just see it all here. We're going to go through it now. You probably know where I land on this if you watch this channel at all in terms of who I have winning the awards. I haven't given an updated Stanley Cup pick, but got to see how the deadline plays out a little bit more before I put some weight behind the team. But yeah, let's see these responses from you guys. Loading responses. Okay, up first, Dallas, 28%. I mean, makes sense. Makes perfect sense considering they basically upgraded from Logan Stankoven to Mikko Rantanen at the deadline, as well as picking up Granlund. Heavy favorites. I should have somehow color coordinated this. Panthers checking in at 14.8%. Oilers still at 13.6%. I can understand that, although they've looked like shit the last 2 months. Avalanche holding strong at 12.1%. Let me see which ones are. Where are the Lightning at 6.3? We got some. I get called the Capitals and a Winnipeg Jets hater. It looks like you guys are also in my boat, that they're more so of a tier 2 contender. In terms of making it to a conference finals, I probably would take the Capitals over the Panthers, Lightning, or Leafs, but actually to win the Stanley Cup, it might be a little bit harder. Knights at 2.1, 2.3 for the Leafs. Yes, we got our tiers. We got a big 4. Then we got the Jets, Capitals, Lightning. Senators got some votes. I would not have them in the same tier. Canes, Leafs are maybe in that tier after. Makes sense. Who will be the runner-up? I assume it's just going to be more of the same. Yeah, I guess everybody's predicting a Panthers versus Stars final at that point. That is definitely the safer. Tampa jumps all the way to 17%. I guess that makes sense. They're saying if you the 3 out of the biggest 4 favorites to win the Cup they have in the West, so you guys naturally going to have a team in the Eastern Conference to be the runner-up. Capitals check in at 6.5. Okay. Oilers, Leafs, Canes bump a little bit considering they're in the Eastern Conference and are going to get a pretty hurt Devils team in the first round, so that makes sense. Who makes the final wild card in the West? Canucks. We're still holding out for the Canucks. Got a good win last night against the Chicago Blackhawks. Dismantled them. Pettersson is playing better of late. Right now, dude, sneaky Utah. I might be rocking with Utah. I want Utah to make it. Will they? They're my pick right now, honestly. I'm going bold. They're definitely not if you put a gun to my head, I'd probably say the Canucks, just because they're playing better and Quinn Hughes is finally healthy. But, yeah, don't sleep on Utah. They got a shit ton of votes, though. So it's not like you guys are completely underrating them. Rangers 41.5. I think you guys are correct. I'm not going to lie. Yesterday, the Rangers won. Columbus Blue Jackets lost. Canadians getting 21%. Red Wings all the way at 5.9. This was made before their kind of big win against the Vegas Golden Knights. Shut them out. Islanders and Bruins getting no respect. I don't blame you, really. If I'm going to be honest, though. Those are the 6 different teams. Who should win the Hart Trophy? Connor Hellebuck, Draisaitl. A lot of people giving McKinnon. I think that it's a 2-man race, man. I think McKinnon should be on 5-10%. Having a monster point season, just the overall impact, goal scoring, and even defensively compared to a Leon Draisaitl, I just don't think that there's that much of an argument. I know Leon Draisaitl plays with Connor McDavid. He's just been straight up better than Connor McDavid, on top of the fact that he doesn't have a Kel McCarr or Natchez. Colorado's a more well-balanced team. Edmonton has been a shit show. You guys know Connor Hellebuck's my pick right now. When you look at the stats, and especially the era adjusted more so compared to the 2010s where goal scoring was a lot lower, he's having a Carey Price level season. Granted, he didn't go up against a Leon Draisaitl level offensive season in 2015. But yeah, Connor Hellebuck's my pick. Norris, Zach Werenski, love. I love that. I love that. He's my pick right now. I think it's very close between him and Cale Makar. Quinn Hughes, yeah, just injuries, man. Vezina, Connor Hellebuck. Some love for Logan Thompson. Yeah, he just didn't play enough games, and he has gone a little bit cold, but he's going to be a well-deserved second place or finalist. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me if Vasilevsky somehow passes Logan Thompson. Who should win the Calder? So split, man. Celebrini, 37%, 33%, 27%. Yeah, I think if Celebrini, I said in the poll, I said, like, if they keep the current paces, Celebrini's probably going to win it regardless, but if Celebrini keeps on playing like a legit number one center down the stretch, he'll probably have my vote as well. The Selke is diverse. I like this because Barkov's going to win it, and it's so boring just because he is. He's garnered that Patrice Bergeron kind of reputation, but when you look at it, Reinhart has been better defensively. He's not a center, though, but you guys are giving some love to Draisaitl, Marner, PLD. I think PLD's a really underrated guy. He should get a lot of votes in terms of a Selke contender. Cirelli, he sure also kind of, it's more so just his name recognition at this point than him being like dominant defensively, but I won't hate if he gets some votes. Jack Adams, yeah, I'm in the Everson camp if they make the playoffs. If not, I think Carberry for sure. But yeah, it's really a two-man race at this point. Travis Green is going to get some love. I think it's more so Steve Stamkos bringing in Linus Ullmark and actually having a competent goaltender, but he's done a good job as well. GM of the year. Jim, the thing with you saw in my awards ballots, I didn't have him on the ballot because, yes, he got Mikko Rantanen, but he didn't address the right side of the defense. Like his one gaping hole, he didn't really address. I think Chris Patrick's the clear pick right now, considering the turnover in Washington. Jim Nill, if they make the conference finals, is going to be the sexy pick, don't get me wrong. And I think Zito as well, like, the core was already in place. Same thing with Jim Nill. I understand if you say, like, he's built this entire team, he retooled them into a contender, but just this season, I'd take guys over. I'd take Chris McFarland over him. I might even take Steve Stamkos. I'd definitely take Julien Brisebois when looking at what Brisebois has done in the last 10 months to completely rejuvenate the Tampa Bay Lightning. Most improved. Okay, now we move off the awards ballots. You probably already saw my awards ballots video. Hopefully, if you haven't, go check it out. Now we get the important stuff. Alexei Protas and Kirill Marchenko lead the way. Protas a little bit more. I think I would lean Marchenko. Protas has been great, but he has played with a little bit more talent, and he's shooting like 25%. I'm not saying he's some fluky guy. He's also improved massively. But Marchenko has been like a legit top 60 player in the NHL this season. Lacombe, I was expecting to get some more votes. Jackson Lacombe, looking at him just being like a third pair guy last year, not that good. I think he was like a -30, not saying plus minus is that valuable of a stat. But he's been like a legit number one defenseman, basically since the Cam Fowler trade on Anaheim. Connor McMichael was like the leader for this the first 20 games, but has slowed down a little bit. Lucas Raymond has definitely taken that step from like young up-and-coming star to bona fide star. But yeah, it's like he scored 73 points last year. So how much you'd have to be like a 95-point guy to somehow win this hypothetical reward. Dylan Guenther taking a big step as well. Matthew Nyes, yeah, he's taking a sizable step. Dylan Holloway, rightfully so, getting around 6% of the votes. He's legit. Pavel Dorofeyev, I think, is an underrated guy who won the Washed Up Award. 31% for Steven Stamkos. Yeah, I think with Stamkos is like the writing was on the wall. Not maybe to this level, but like he was 40-40 last year, but half of that came on the power play, like the best power play in the entire NHL. Chris Kreider, yeah, dude, Kreider still has 4 assists. He has 18 goals, but even that's not impressive in like 55 games or something like that. I definitely understand you having Kreider. Zibanejad has been better of late. I'm not going to lie. I am not going to lie. Oh, you guys wrote in some guys for this one. Every member of the Rangers that's not Panarin. Jesus, Connor Bedard. Yeah, I didn't let a lot of write-ins for these, but this one I guess I did. Morgan Riley's actually a sneaky good pick, but he's not. Is he? No, he is in his 30s. I should have put him on here. Yeah, who else? Who else did I have in this? Brady Shea. Who's that small little slice? So multiple people wrote him Brock Nelson, or did I? Oh, I put Brock Nelson on this. He's fallen off slightly. But yeah, it's kind of a big three when looking at this. Gustav Nyquist was also kind of like fake last year. He had 75 points, but like we knew that was because he was playing with Forsberg and O'Reilly. Nobody was like, Gustav Forsberg's an elite first line winger. So it's good that you guys did not vote him. Yeah, I think those are our three. I went with skaters only. No goalies in this. Best UFA signing: Stolarz 2 by 2.5, Duchesne 1 by 3, Monahan 5 by 5.5. I think I'd go with Monahan, man, when looking at it. When you look at the total surplus, I agree. This season, Stolarz, Duchesne, better than Monahan. Monahan's been like, when he's out there, like a legit number one center, and you have him for 5 more seasons. Yes, it does take him to like 33 or 34 years old, but he's been a legit $7.58 million player. So when looking at surplus value, I respect it because yeah, Duchesne's been like a $9 million player this year, and you could definitely make an argument this is just maybe a fluky year by Monahan, but I would probably vote Monahan. Worst UFA signing: Lindholm 7 by 7.5, Brady Shea. The Stevenson one, I'll admit, I forgot to put him on the first like 30 minutes of this poll. There was only like 150 responses at that time, so he'd probably be at like 14%. He'd probably be tied with Steven Stamkos. Yeah, I think I got to agree. Zadorov is less than ideal, but he's just like a good physical second pair guy. Lindholm's the worst. Yeah, that's considering it's 7 years. If Stamkos was 6 or 7 years, you can make an argument. Brady Shea actually might. It's 1 and 2. It's 1A, 1B for me, but I don't hate you guys going with Lindholm. Like Lindholm basically sent the Bruins into a heavy retool. It was such a bad deal. Which coach deserves to be fired? Oh, nice distribution on this one. Lindy Ruff. We might deserve to get fired the most just because you thought Buffalo was going to get back to that 2023 form. He's not going to get fired, obviously, because he's a first-year head coach in Buffalo. Cronin's weird, yeah, because I think we all agree, like, the Ducks are doing fine in the standings. They're at, like, 50% points percentage, but outside of Jackson Lacombe, like, all of their young players are plateauing. So I agree. He deserves to get fired as well. Peter Laviolette, Patrick Waugh. Waugh, yeah, I guess you can just pin it more on Lou Lamoriello. John Tortorella, Mike Sullivan. Makes sense. Sullivan has kind of went under the radar. I think he was a good coach at the Four Nations that we kind of like give him a pass. It's like, oh shit, we all realize like Pittsburgh just really sucks from a roster spot. And Kyle Dubas is retooling. It's not like he's fully going for it right now. GM that deserves to get fired the most, 26.4% for Don Sweeney. Had a good deadline in my opinion, but yeah, when you had all that money to spend this offseason and you spent it on Zadorov and Lindholm, who were featured in the worst unrestricted free agent signings, your ass is going to be here. And although I don't hate the Brad Marchand trade, you probably should have re-signed him, and you probably should have got at least a guaranteed first-round pick, but he forced his way to Florida. Barry Trotz, yeah, Trotz also as well. 2 guys that were on the worst unrestricted free agent signings list. Kevin Adams, yeah, tough ownership to work with for Kevin Adams. You can say maybe he got a raw deal out of it, but to regress this goddamn much. Ron Francis, 14.6%. Yeah, he kind of saved himself. He may have saved. I don't know if he was going to get fired regardless, but like, I feel like we don't look at him as bad because he finally admitted, like, I need to do some kind of retool, think more for the future, and got that solid deal for Bjorkstrand and Gord. 10.4% for Lou Lamoriello. Yeah, I think similarly to Ron Francis, like the Brock Nelson, the fact that although he also should have sold Kyle Palmieri, the fact that he sold off Brock Nelson at least puts him in some good graces. And then Chris Drury. Yeah, I can't really blame them on this one, considering the Rangers coming off the President's Trophy Eastern Conference Finals round. They're battling for a wild card spot right now. Who is your favorite player in the NHL? Oh my God. Okay, they just did not. I thought it would like have like an organ. Damn it. I thought this would be like percentaged. Damn it. We can see what surprising names we have. All right, Crosby, Ovechkin, Caulfield, Jarvis, Patterson. So I'm seeing a lot of Suzuki's, Crosby's, of course. Hudson already. Hudson is beloved. Stützle, Caprice, Nugent Hopkins, favorite player. That's a unique one. Dylan Cousins. Hopefully you're a Senators fan, not a Buffalo fan that now hates their team. Tom Wilson. Let's go to the worst. We'll probably see some more of the worst ones as Rempe up top. Yeah, I think we're gonna see a decent amount of the Rempinator. Bouchard, Matthews, Rempe, Ryan Reeves. You got some enforcers. Crosby. He's loved or hated. The Tkachuk brothers, you expected a lot of the Tkachuk brothers to pop up within this. Brady Tkachuk popping up a lot. Jeez. Kachuk. I shouldn't have said last name only, knowing that the Kachuk brothers were in this. John Tavares, was expecting some of those. Chris Kreider, I assume a Montreal Canadiens fan. Trevor Zegras. Tony D'Angelo still. Jesus. Darnell Nurse. It's probably an Oilers fan that hates the contract. But yeah, thank you guys so much for filling out this form. Follow me on Instagram again, MB on Hockey, Twitter, Mike Bartner, and I'll be doing more of this. Let me know what kind of other like polls and forums that you want to see that we can react to on this channel. I mostly agreed with what you guys were saying, a couple slight disagreements, but yeah, you guys are the best. Thanks for helping me out with this. Hopefully you filled it out. I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.